Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So, a few weeks ago, I posted a detailed review of the Fittr HART Ring X2 where I covered the design, comfort, sleep tracking, activity tracking, battery life and my overall experience with the ring. In that video, I already mentioned that the Fittr has also introduced a very interesting new feature that was currently in beta, that is blood pressure estimation. So, I felt that this feature deserved a dedicated video because most people will simply see it as a blood pressure number on the screen and move on. But I wanted to go one step further and understand what is actually happening behind the scenes. How can a ring estimate a blood pressure without a cuff? What exactly is rPPG and why does the app ask you to use your phone's front camera? And how does all of this come together to generate a blood pressure reading? So let us get started. To answer those questions, let us first understand what the ring cannot and can do. Traditionally, blood pressure is measured using an inflatable cuff that is wrapped around your arm. The cuff temporarily restricts the blood flow and then measures the pressure changes, helps the blood flows once again after removing it. This method directly measures the blood pressure. A smart ring obviously cannot do that. It doesn't squeeze a finger or doesn't restrict blood flow and doesn't directly measure pressure as well. So where does the blood pressure value come from? Well, the answer lies in the sensor inside the ring and a technology called as PPG. Modern smartwatches and smart rings use tiny LEDs and optical sensors that shine light into your skin and measure the reflected light. Every time your heart beats, the amount of blood flowing through your finger changes slightly. These tiny changes affect how light is absorbed and reflected back by the sensor. So by continuously analyzing these changes, the ring can track your heart rate and gather other valuable cardiovascular information. However, blood pressure estimation requires more information than just heart rate. So this is where rPPG comes into picture. rPPG stands for Remote Photoplethysmography. Unlike traditional PPG which requires sensor to touch your skin, rPPG uses a camera, in this case your smartphone's front camera. When blood flows through these tiny blood vessels beneath your skin, it raises subtle color changes on your face. These changes are invisible to the human eye, but modern cameras can capture them using sophisticated algorithms as well. So when you position your face in front of the camera during the blood pressure measurement process, the camera is not taking a selfie or analyzing your appearance. Instead, it is looking for tiny fluctuations in the scene color that occur with each heartbeat. So frame by frame, the software extracts the blood flow information from a face's skin and converts it into psychological signals. These signals provide additional insights into your cardiovascular system that would otherwise be unavailable from the ring alone. So at the same time, the Fittr HART Ring X2 is also collecting live data from your finger using an optical sensor. The ring's PPG data and the smartphone's rPPG data both are then combined and processed using machine learning models and predictive algorithms. These algorithms have been trained to identify patterns that correlate with the blood pressure value. Based on those patterns, the system generates an estimated systolic and diastolic blood pressure reading. So one way to think about it is that the ring isn't directly measuring the blood pressure directly. It is reading the ripples that are created by the blood flow and using those ripples to estimate the blood pressure behind them. Just like you can learn a lot about a stone by observing the ripples it creates in the water, these algorithms learn about blood pressure by analyzing the signal generated as the blood moves throughout the body. This is also why it is important to understand the difference between a measurement and an estimation. A traditional blood pressure monitor directly measures the pressure using a cuff. The Fittr HART Ring X2 estimates the blood pressure using cardiovascular signals, optical sensing, computer vision, and machine learning. The goal is not to replicate the exact mechanism of a cuff-based monitor, but to actually provide a convenient way to track your cardiovascular trends using devices that many people already wear every day. Also, using this feature requires a lot of model computation from AI. That's why they have restricted each user to measure blood pressure only once a day. That is also practical as well, as you don't need to measure it multiple times during a day. Personally, what fascinates me the most is the technology itself. A few years ago, wearables were primarily focusing on step counting and basic heart rate tracking. Today, we have devices that are capable of sleep stage analysis, blood oxygen monitoring, heart rate variability tracking, stress analysis, and now even blood pressure estimation using a combination of wearable sensors and computer vision. The fact that a ring on your finger and a camera on your phone can work together to estimate something as complex as blood pressure is genuinely impressive from an engineering perspective. Of course, it is important to remember that this feature is still in beta, but factors such as lighting conditions, facial positioning, movement, hydration levels, stress, blood circulation, and many other variables can influence the quality of collected signals. So for medical diagnosis or clinical decision making, a validated cuff-based blood pressure monitor remains the preferred option. However, as a technology enthusiast, I find it exciting to see how rapidly the wearable health technology is evolving. 9 to 10 years ago, I wore my first Samsung Galaxy S3 Frontier and the Mi Band 1. Today, we are here. That's the science behind the Fittr HART Ring X2 new blood pressure. Rather than simply showing you a number on the screen, I wanted to explain what is actually happening underneath the hood. So the next time you see the app asking for access to your front camera, you will know that it isn't looking at your face alone. It is looking at the tiny signs of blood flow hidden within it that you can't see it. And together with the ring sensor data, these signals help to create an estimation of your blood pressure. I would love to know about what do you think about this technology. Do you see yourself using this feature regularly? And if you will like, I can also do a comparison against a traditional blood pressure monitor in a future video to see how closely these estimates match in the real world measurement. Let me know in the comments below if you have any other doubts about the Fittr HART Ring X2 as well. Do like the video and subscribe to our channel for more such video. Thank you.